Learning a new language is like learning to conduct an orchestra of words and ideas. A good story teaches us the harmony and rhythm of this new language. Today's narrative is about finding your place as a leader, and it is also your chance to improve your English in a cohesive and elegant way. There is a cruel paradox in professional success. The same skills that make you a brilliant performer, worthy of a promotion, can be the same ones that make you feel like a complete imposter the moment you sit in the leader's chair. The question is, what happens when your greatest achievement, the moment that should be the peak of your confidence, makes you feel like a fraud for the first time? This is the story of Lyndsey, a brilliant professional who was promoted directly to her level of perceived incompetence, and of the lesson she needed to learn about the fundamental difference between being the best musician in the orchestra and having the courage to finally pick up the baton and conduct. Lyndsey's promotion was a celebration. As the star analyst at an advertising agency in Manhattan, her new role as manager was seen as the natural next step. There were congratulations, a new corner office, and the expectation that her individual excellence would now spread throughout the entire team. But when the door to the new office closed, the celebration gave way to a silent panic. Lyndsey's new reality was no longer about executing tasks where her brilliance was clear and measurable. Her job was now abstract. Meetings, delegation, strategy. She felt like an actress on a stage, playing the role of boss without knowing her lines, terrified that at any moment someone in the audience would see through the charade. So, she resorted to what she knew best, the work of an analyst. She micromanaged every step of her team, unable to trust that they would do the work as well as she could. Even worse, at night, she would secretly redo their work to meet her standard. The result was disastrous. She was working twice as hard, exhausted and anxious, and her team, feeling undervalued and without autonomy, was demotivated and apathetic. The intervention didn't come from her team, but from a company mentorship program. Lyndsey had her first mandatory session with Lena, a senior director from another department, known for her calm and insight. To Lyndsey, it was just another meeting on her calendar, another performance to be executed. She walked into Lena's office, ready to present the official version of her transition to the new role, using all the right corporate buzzwords about challenges and growth opportunities. But Lena didn't ask about metrics or strategies. She leaned forward with a genuinely curious look and asked the simple, direct question that no one else had. So, how are you really feeling in the new role? The word really, spoken with a disarming sincerity, was the key that opened the floodgates. Even to Lyndsey's own surprise, the truth came out. In a torrent of vulnerability, she confessed everything. The exhaustion, the overwhelming fear of being exposed as a fraud, the conviction that the promotion had been a mistake, and that she was, every day, failing miserably. For the first time since she sat in that new chair, she stopped pretending. Lena listened, not with sympathy, but with an analytical empathy. When Lyndsey finished, the senior director offered her surgical diagnosis. "You don't feel like a fraud because you're a bad manager, Lyndsey," she said calmly. "You feel like a fraud because you're trying to be the best analyst on the team with the title of manager. You're on the right stage, but trying to play your old role." She then asked the question that would change Lyndsey's perspective forever. Does an orchestra conductor need to know how to play the violin better than the first chair violinist? Or the piano better than the pianist? No. Her job is to listen to the entire orchestra and help each musician play their part as beautifully as possible. Your success, Lena concluded, is no longer measured by your individual performance, but by your team's performance. Your role is no longer to play the violin, it's to conduct. And for the first time in months, Lyndsey felt the fog of anxiety lift, replaced by a shocking clarity. Yulina, she wasn't a fraud, she was just desperately trying to do the wrong job. The conductor metaphor changed everything. Lyndsey returned to her team with a new posture. She stopped redoing their work at night. Yulina, she started delegating important tasks, not just the easy ones. And the hardest, most important part, she started to trust her team to execute them, even if the result was different from what she would have done herself. The real test came in a meeting about a challenging project. Yulina, the old Lyndsey, would have arrived with a ready-made solution to be executed. The new Lyndsey presented the problem and, in an act of vulnerability that terrified her, admitted, "Honestly, I don't have the perfect answer for this. What do you all think?" The silence in the room lasted for 3 seconds. Yulina, then, a junior analyst, offered a tentative idea. Another built on it. Within minutes, the room was filled with a creative energy that Lyndsey had never witnessed. Her vulnerability didn't generate disrespect, it generated engagement. The project that was born from that meeting was a resounding success, exceeding all expectations, precisely because it was the fruit of the team's collective intelligence. The final scene of Lyndsey's transformation is not of her receiving an award, but of her sitting at the back of a presentation room, watching with pride as her team shines while presenting their work to the client. She was no longer the best violinist, trying to play all the solos. She was the conductor, and the music they created together was more beautiful than any solo she had ever played. Lyndsey's journey from star analyst to conductor teaches us a fundamental lesson about leadership and growth. True leadership is not about outshining others, but about creating an environment where everyone can shine together. It is the transition from being the person with all the answers to being the person who asks the best questions. Her story is an invitation to look at our own lives, whether at work, in our families, or in our projects, and ask ourselves, in what area are we exhaustively trying to play all the instruments, when our true role now is to learn how to conduct the orchestra? If this lesson about the true nature of leadership resonated with you, leave a comment below, like and share the video, so this message can find other brilliant musicians who need permission to become great conductors. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that explore the challenges of our professional and personal lives. Until next time, stop playing and start conducting.